It's tea time, positive tea time, and we are spilling all of it right here in this space created by two crazy, fun-loving besties. It's a no-judgment zone for sharing stories of hope, faith, love, growth, and most of all, grace and gratitude. So join us as we get ready to share some positivity and get a fresh perspective on life.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spilling Positivity. This is season 3, and as usual, Maria and I are so excited, positively excited, because we have a wonderful guest, Sue Ann Tannis, Barbadian, daughter of the soil, going around the world, blazing a trail as a communications guru. I would like to say she's actually the senior director of Integrated Communications for the United Nations Foundation. Sue Ann,
yes.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
And
it's so good to be here.
Sitting with us.
Yes, we are so happy you are here.
Thank you.
Sue Ann's journey. Listen, talk about following your dreams, okay? Talk about verbalizing what it is that, she knew she wanted to do. I had an idea of what she wanted to do. And then, throughout her life, she's made it happen against the odds. So that's what we're talking about today. Sue Ann, tell us about you.
Oh, wow. That's a big question.
A lot to tell.
But what I'll say is, first and foremost, I am a proud Barbadian.
Yes.
And obviously...
I'm having some Lloyd's tea.
Yes.
To that, because Lloyd is our sponsor for season 3. So we're having some tea to that.
And Lloyd is my daddy's name. So let me just grab it.
Look at that.
Cheers to Lloyd. But yeah, big question. Tell you about me.
Yes.
I'll give you like the 30-second version. So like I was saying, proud Barbadian, grew up and was blessed to grow up here and receive a good, strong Barbadian education with an amazing Barbadian village supporting me and encouraging me and cheering me on.
Lovely.
That led me to believe that there was nothing I could dream of doing that was impossible.
Wow.
And so basically, from the time I was 9 years old, a reporter interviewed me. She said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, "I want to be a translator for the UN." Now, translator was the only word I had to describe the career that I was thinking of, which was actually communications.
Wow. Yeah.
Right? But I knew I wanted something to do with language and speaking, and I knew I wanted it to be on the global stage. Fast forward about 2+ decades, and I am pretty much doing that thing which I envisaged doing as a kid.
Oh, fantastic.
Slightly different titles and slightly different organization, United Nations Foundation, but basically that's been the journey, and I'm grateful. Let me just put it that way. Grateful.
Well, you talked about your foundation in Barbados, but talk a little bit more about some of the things that have been poured into you that has made Sue Ann this amazing, incredible woman.
I think, well, thank you, first of all, but I think it was also having parents who didn't try to limit me.
That's so important.
It wasn't, you have to choose this career or that career.
Right.
Pretty much whatever I chose to be, as long as I did it well. That was the thing. And so for me, it was just always having a glimpse of who I could be. And when I caught that glimpse, holding on to it. Another strong thing in my life was faith. My email address when I was about 16, 17 was faithhastakenmeplaces@yahoo.com.
Oh, yes, I
And
love
so
that.
I like that.
I don't
very
know
much.
if that email address still exists, but just to say, like, I really tried to embody that because pretty much I had nothing else, right? I wasn't, necessarily well connected, didn't have a ton of resources.
Yeah.
It was just faith, vision, and hard work, and understanding that I wanted to lead an extraordinary life as a child and following that.
Wonderful.
Here you are.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about, you told me a story about when you were actually doing the 11+.
Yes.
And an encounter.
An encounter. Let me just put it this way. I was an average kid in class 4. I wanted to go to Harrison College so badly because my dad had gone there, my sister had gone there, and so
legacy.
yes. And that school is big. Legacy. You inherit your parents' house, actually.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like whatever house your parent was in or your sibling was in, that's the house that you end up being in. But it wasn't looking too good with the mock exams and everything. And so, there was this idea that maybe I wouldn't get to that school. Not that anything would have been wrong with it, because I
Yeah.
believe wherever you land,
Absolutely.
you can thrive. But just that beauty of what I believe was God coming through for me at 11 years old. Well, I was 10 at the time when I took the exam, and getting to the school that I really wanted to go to, despite feeling and hearing that the grades hadn't been good enough.
Because
right?
actually, you were actually told, someone actually said that.
Yes, someone
that
actually
they
said
didn't
that.
think that
Yeah.
you had the grades to make it to X school.
Yes, which we should talk about that.
Yes.
Because
Yes, we need to talk about that.
what
That's important.
unrealistic standards and incredible pressure
Yes.
to place our kids under
Oh, yes.
when they're so multi-talented. They can thrive wherever they go. And I think we just need to fix that.
Yeah. We need to be very careful of the noise, because I call it noise, that we kind of surround our children with.
Yes.
And
what we allow to
the
speak
messages,
into them.
exactly, the
Yes.
messages that because that was noise. That was not
was.
anything else but noise.
Yeah,
You
but
didn't take it in.
No.
I didn't take it in, but I can tell you, I still remember the day. It was nerve-wracking, right?
Yeah.
I remember taking that exam and thinking, oh my gosh. And then the weeks that follow, pain, man.
Yeah.
Torture.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you're just like, did I do it? Did I not do it? Where am I going to land? But, I know that no matter the result, right? There was always going to be opportunity, right? Because that's the thing that we create in our minds. Like,
Absolutely.
we got to look for it, right?
Yes.
But just seeing that dream come to pass, I think, was for me at a young age, affirmation and validation that pretty much if you can dream it, you can achieve it.
Absolutely.
So,
And it didn't stop there. The dreaming didn't stop there, because you went from that, you actually got into the school of your choice.
Yes.
And then from there, it was time to go to university.
Yes.
And, tell us
the
about
Howard University,
Yes.
the
HU.
greatest institution on earth. Sorry, I have to rap, right?
Yeah,
Rap for
I
your
have to
school.
rap. I have to rap. But yeah, Howard, in the heart of Washington, D.C., the world's greatest institution for Black women and men. And I didn't realize it at the time, but Howard was shaping me to understand the world through a lens of justice, equity, freedom, expression. Howard is such a rich place, not only in terms of diversity, but in terms of the people who have passed through the gates of Howard, who have gone to school on the hilltop, as we call it. And when you see the greatness that has passed through there, you think to yourself, well, I can do this too.
Yes. But getting
I
there.
can do this too.
Let's talk about getting
Getting there, oh my
because
gosh.
I know that's what you wanted to do,
Yes.
but in terms of
The path,
the path to it.
the obstacles, I mean, look, it's no secret I wasn't from a particularly rich country. Back then, I don't think tuition was as expensive as it is now, right? But let's just say the path to Howard was faith, right? You started with what you had, but I had how many semesters ahead of me? Would have been 8 semesters ahead of me, I think. And I was just blessed at Howard not only to find like the right jobs on campus, but also to have scholarships,
Yes.
grants, but also to be surrounded by more inspiration.
Yes.
Because the thing is, right, to keep going,
You need that inspiration.
you need that inspiration.
And
You need
motivation.
people around you who can help you to understand this is all I can be. This is who I can be. And so Howard was that place for me. Not only that, but it was there that I started to really lean into this thing called communications. I started at Howard wanting to be a news anchor.
Really? Well,
Yes.
it's all the same kind of, their family.
I legit wanted to sit at the desk at CBC
Really?
and say, thank you for watching. It is now 7 p.m. in Barbados in the Eastern Caribbean, and this is Sue Ann Tannis. I wanted to do that, right? But then at Howard, I discovered, oh my gosh, there's so much more to communications, right? There is public relations, then, you can do speech writing. So my degree was actually communication and culture with a concentration in speech.
Yeah, okay.
And then I did public relations as a minor. And that was, for me, my sweet spot. At that point in time, it was like anchoring what, reporting what.
You found that.
Yeah, but just the idea that you could shape the image of a brand, a person, an icon, and really change the trajectory of public consciousness.
Right.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was great. So that is pretty much how things evolved. And getting to Howard, I would say, was miraculous. And for me, I've noticed that with my life. There's nothing worth having that goes down without a fight.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
You are so right about that.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when you determine, I've seen the vision, I know it's for me, I've had a conversation with God,
Yeah.
Right.
He's given me the green light, then it's lit.
Yes.
Then it's lit.
It's lit
right?
and litty all the way to the
You
end.
are going for it.
Yeah, there's no obstacle that can come in the way that's
Yeah.
really going to, I mean, it can hang around for a little bit, but at the end of the day, God's promise is God's promise.
Exactly.
How do you push through on the days where it doesn't feel like it's possible, or when you feel extra daunted?
Or do you even have those days where you
I
get...
think we all do,
Yeah, okay,
right?
good.
I think we all do, but when you get to those days, you got to keep the promise at the front of your mind,
Yeah.
right? This is what I saw, and this is what I believe, and this is what I prayed for. And with mountain moving, earth shaking faith, is nothing. It has to pass.
It has to.
It has to pass.
Because people look at the package of Sue Ann, always well put together, everything, and she's just going on this trajectory. You know, as you said, nothing worth having is easy.
Yeah.
And pushing. Sometimes you get daunted. Sometimes you feel like, or there may be people who look at you and say, well, she's got everything going for her. And it's just, she just got it. So, you know, whatever.
It's
but
easy for her.
It's easy for
Yeah,
you.
that's
That's
what
what
people
people see.
Yeah.
Because people,
Some
perception.
people.
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
that the
you know what I
majority of
mean.
people, there's
Yeah.
a perception
Yeah.
of, well, you know, well, she's got it.
Yeah, but anytime you see shine, oh gosh, there's a whole lot of muscle going into
buffing
polishing
going in.
behind
Yeah,
the scenes, right?
absolutely,
And I
yeah.
think that we need to keep that in mind whenever we see greatness in action, right? I'm not saying that I have ascended to the heights of the world's greatest, but whenever we see that, I think we need to take a moment, stop, appreciate that there is work happening behind the scenes. Not only that, there is a village, there's a community, often lifting people up and helping them to accomplish, right?
And
For
encouraging
me,
you.
exactly, and cheering you on. You know, from young, that village and that community was mostly my family,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Who weren't necessarily like whipping out pom-poms, but who gave me such quiet confidence
Yeah.
to understand that everything was possible.
So faith and quiet
yes,
confidence.
Yes.
What are some of the other things, mantras that you live by on a day-to-day basis?
Ooh. So we covered faith.
Yes.
Faith is taking me places, and it will take everybody places too if they just believe.
Yes.
Bolder, bigger.
I love that.
I love that.
Bolder, bigger. That's something that I adopted maybe 3 to 4 years ago. I had this sort of inkling that maybe I wasn't approaching life as courageously as I could be. Even though like by, you know, people were telling me, oh gosh, you're doing the thing. Like you're doing all the things.
Got CDV.
Yeah, but there was so
many
much more
things.
there was so much more to go in my view. But I realized that coming from a small island sometimes, you kind of just get into a very narrow view. Like the
Yeah.
myopia sets in, right? And
And comfort.
yes,
sets in.
yeah, that's so true, comfort. But then you realize there are more spaces and places where I can actually make an impact. But first of all, I need to be a little bolder and be more courageous about this extraordinary life that I want to live. But I got to think bigger as well, right? And believe that in bigger spaces, there will be room made for me.
Yes.
Yes.
Right? Because my experiences are valid, right? And my journey is valid,
Yes.
and my ideas are valid, right? So bolder, bigger is a huge one, and that has centered me and grounded me through some of the biggest spaces that I've been to recently. Next up, what other people think of you is none of your business. And we had a little
say that
we had a
again?
little chit chat.
Have a little Lloyd blackberry.
Let's have a wafer for that one.
Blackberry and blueberry.
Have a wafer for that.
Yes, and also the Torin wafers. Thank you, Lloyd. Thank you, Torin. Definitely.
But that's one that
Oh, yes.
is great to say, but you got to take some time to let that sink in
yeah.
because sometimes the opinions of other people can be paralyzing. The expectations of the people around you can be terrifying,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
But if you have seen the vision for yourself and if you have accepted the calling, then what other people think of you
Really.
Doesn't
none of your
matter.
business.
And you experienced that at 10, and you broke that entire
Yeah.
concept and theory down right there.
And you know what's interesting though? It pops up. It pops up. It
Yeah.
pops up. We are I think living in an age where we've also got social media.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Where everybody has an opinion about you, and the
Yeah.
comment section allows them to go off.
And
Yeah.
go on and on and on.
Right?
That is sometimes
But-
very disappointing.
Yeah. But you got to be centered and grounded knowing that if it's up here and if it's in here, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And
That
your
is all that
village.
matters.
Yeah.
And your village, right? And even sometimes the village doesn't understand the plan.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Because even though, I'm hearing people talk about this trajectory, the trajectory wasn't,
Straight up.
it had a lot of bends and twists and turns and peaks and valleys and
It had
twist-
life.
Yes.
It had life.
right,
Yeah.
right. And in all that, sometimes you might make decisions that the people around you go like, wait, what? But I'm also thankful for a village who might not understand it, but they respect and
respected.
honor it.
And
Yeah.
support
And
you.
support you in the
Yes,
process. Yeah.
right? So if I say after 3 years of living in Barbados, I'm ready to go back to Washington, they're going to come and help me pack.
Yes.
They might not understand it.
Right.
Hey, mom. But they respect and
Yes.
honor it.
Yeah.
And that is the one thing I'm grateful to have been blessed with, right?
Yeah.
And eventually, it all adds up because I believe no mistakes are made either, right?
Yes.
It's
No.
all necessary,
Yes.
right? And the way that I say it is, and if I got it wrong, so what?
And that's
It's
a big
not
thing.
the end of
Right?
the world.
It's not fatal, right?
No.
If I got
No.
it wrong, so what? No experience is ever wasted.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And so if I get to that destination and all I get is the benefit of a day, a week, a month, it hasn't been wasted.
No, it has
Right.
not. Yeah.
Because all of it comes together to take me a step further
Yeah.
and a step further.
And to create the wonderful story of your journey.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's so
exactly. Because you
important.
need a good plot twist too,
Oh my goodness.
right?
Curveball.
Yes.
you need that. Could
Yeah.
you imagine watching a movie where things don't
Everything is
Go
like, yeah,
askew.
yeah. Yeah.
right? Most boring movie ever. And
Yeah.
that's I think what I've enjoyed so much about my life, right? I get to Howard and I'm like, wait, holy smokes, it's actually a lot more expensive to be here, right? And so then I apply for a scholarship on a whim, and lo and behold, they come back and they say, yeah, girl, you won. And then for my master's, same thing, right? Another scholarship. And I just feel so blessed. So blessed. Also understanding that faith.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Faith. Because I could work as hard as ever, but if I don't believe it's going to lead me somewhere,
Yes.
yeah.
That's really
Gotta
true.
believe and hold that belief.
And you've got
Sacred.
to believe despite what is coming, the noise
Yeah.
that you
Yes.
talk about.
And the plot
Yes.
twists.
And the
those
plot
plot
twists.
twists.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
that life has its hills and valleys, and I'm going to now call them plot twists. They are going to, you only grow through those plot twists.
yeah,
You
yeah,
don't
yeah.
grow in that season
Yeah.
of comfort.
When we talk about main character energy, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Plot twist, so what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what?
So what? Exactly. I love
So
that.
what?
Yeah.
So you not only, there are a lot of different things that you do.
Yes.
You also are involved in terms of mentoring. And
Yes.
also, you speak, you go different places and speak.
Yeah.
Tell us a little
She
bit.
sings.
She's a great, beautiful
Amazing
voice.
singer. You didn't expect to hear that come out here today, did you?
But you do a lot. I mean, you were on the Forbes
Communications Council.
Council of 2021. You are doing a lot. What do you tell young people who face the pressure of social media and those outside voices?
Yes, the episode voices. for sure.
Who are so caught up in perception and what people think of them, but yet they're still trying to push through to be who they are,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
deal
yeah.
with the whole perfectionism thing that
Yes.
we all have to deal with.
Yes. Listen, what do I tell young people? It's funny because I think about what I would have told myself
Self, your younger self, yeah.
looking back, right? And it's the same thing we just talked about.
Right.
What other people think of you is none of your business, right? Because to try to keep up with those expectations is not only exhausting, but it does not serve you well. Right. It does not serve you well. Listen, I believe now more than I ever have that if you show up in this world authentically
Yes.
and in the fullest expression of who you are, it will open up and create pathways for you like never before. You can't have those same opportunities to be pretending to be somebody else.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. And that's a lot of
Or
work.
walking in somebody
white
else's
tea.
shoes.
Can
You want
Yes.
to toast to
Yeah.
You
that?
want to toast to that. And
Showing up what?
yeah, showing up authentically.
Authentically.
Yeah.
In the
Okay.
fullest expression of yourself.
Yes, yes, yes.
Every
Without fear.
without fear, because that's the thing, right? There are pockets of ourselves that we try to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Which is cool. We all deserve a little privacy, but there should never be any shame in the game.
None.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shame in the game. And if you're feeling shame, right past it.
Yeah.
Right past it, because that is a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a story. So, message to young people: what other people think of you, none of your business. If you gotta fake it till you make it, right?
Yes.
We endorse that, a little bit of that,
Yeah.
because sometimes it's necessary. But at the end of the day, just show up fully and authentically as who you are. That's where the sweet spot is.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where your power is.
Yeah.
But when we go with like the perception that the crowd has and the expectations of the crowd, you know what ends up happening? We never really find that pocket, that pocket. Just lean into all of who you are.
Yeah.
All your hobbies, they're not a coincidence. Your passions are not a mistake.
Right.
And that's my message to young people. Lean into that. That's your power right there.
So I'm going to ask you a question about transitioning, because I know change for some people is very difficult. And you just said you make a decision, you're going to pack up and you're going to go. Could you tell us a little bit about those transitions and what that was like and how that helped to kind
I
of...
mean, I've been transitioning now, I think I left her when I was 17, 18 for Howard.
Yeah.
That was one transition.
Yeah.
Graduated Howard, came back here. Left here, went to do my master's, went to work with the World Bank, got an opportunity here, came back here. It sounds like madness, right?
No, not really.
Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Whatever. People like, wait, weren't you here all this time? Like sometimes I meet people in DC up to the States, like, girl, where you living? I was like, no, I was in Barbados. Really? Yes. And now you're back? Yes. You know why? It ain't supposed to make sense to you.
To you, yeah, exactly. Very true.
But it makes the world of sense to me. The transitions are never really easy because people don't really think about it. But every single time you are leaving bits and pieces of you behind, the people you love, the place you called home, whether that's the country or the physical structure where you called home, and you're moving into a new place where you have to reorient
Yeah.
all over again, right? Find a new tribe, figure out where do I fit, even down to where you get your hair done.
Yes. The simple
You know, all
things.
the simple things we gonna get, we could keep it
Yeah.
100,
Yes,
right?
yes, yeah.
Those transitions are never easy, but you gotta keep the vision in mind.
Yeah.
What did I come here for? What did I come here for? And you talked about, what happens on the days when things get hard.
Yeah.
Gosh, remember who you are.
Yes.
And remember who you were before they told you who you should
Should be. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Love
right?
it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that will keep you going.
So, okay. Sue Ann,
Yes.
dream chaser and dream catcher.
Absolutely.
That's the first time I've ever heard that.
I like that though. Hashtag
But
that.
I like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We learned a lot today.
We have. And you are certainly, blazing a trail
Oh, thank you.
and living your dream. And that, there's so much importance in that.
Yeah.
What's next?
I would like to know.
What does the vision say?
Honestly, what's next? I talked about the fullest expression of yourself, right? And for me, there's so many other components to me as I sit here. Maria just started to list off some things that sometimes I don't remember them, but honestly, to explore more of that. I'd also like to do some writing.
Oh, that'd be good.
And to share a bit more of my story and inspiration.
Yes.
For the dreamers. For the dreamers.
Love that.
I believe that for younger people, especially who come from the places where we were born, there's so much room for us out there, but oftentimes we can't see it and we feel like we are stuck.
Yeah.
But I think that occasionally what happens is we get a low peephole into all it could be. And for me, my wish is just that every person who gets a glimpse runs in the direction of that vision that they've caught. And don't let it go. Don't let anybody dilute it, water it down,
Yeah.
corrupt it, mess with it, belittle it. Just run. Run toward it.
Yes.
Run toward it. And I truly believe that when you start running, the path clears. The path clears. And so for me, that's what I want to spend a good chunk of my next few years conveying.
Yeah.
And just helping people to understand. I feel like, especially from countries like ours who are often counted out internationally, the more of us who start feeling that energy and that enthusiasm to conquer the world, oh gosh, we're going to change the places we come from. We're going to set the world on fire. And for me, that's what's important. So that's next. That's what's next.
Well,
Yay.
so that is a lot of positivity. Yes. It is, yes. And I just want to leave some of those nuggets with you. Remember, faith is critical. Bolder and bigger is very important.
Yes.
Stay authentic in your journey.
Yes.
And remember, what anybody thinks of you is not your business.
None of your business.
Yes.
None of your business.
You better
And-
preach, Maria.
Well, let me get on my pulpit. And most of all, when you get a little glimpse of where you want to go,
Yes.
just march on in that way, in that
Oh,
that
yes.
path,
Yes.
and navigate through that, through the
Yes.
ups and downs, till you reach your goal.
Yes.
This has been an amazing episode of Spilling Positivity.
So happy.
Thank you so much,
I
Sue
am
Ann.
so happy to have spent this time with you. There's like so much energy for the soul. You have no
Oh,
idea.
yes.
You have no idea.
Oh, darling.
Thank you so much.
Such a pleasure to be here.
And thank you for joining us. We know you just came in technically.
I know.
And finding the time to be with us really means a lot to us.
It was important to me. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Anything for home.
I
appreciate
love it.
that.
Thank you. And thank you to Lloyd Tea.
Thank
and
you, Lloyd.
Torn Wafers.
Yes, it's actually quite, for ginger tea girls, it's actually quite a
Yes.
nice tea.
I think we quite enjoy that.
Yes.
This is the blackberry blueberry that I'm loving. So yeah.
Until our next episode, please continue to stay positive and get your Lloyd's tea and sip on some positivity.
Yes.
Bye.
We'll sip to that.
Yes.